What's your story?
This is Greg Tillery, the owner of Weedats and Seasonats, and I'm about to give y'all my story. Let's get it. But anyway, so I left FritoLay because PepsiCo as a whole did like a company-wide layoff. And when they did this layoff, or whatever the case may be, they didn't lay me off because I was fresh out of college, but they did, I think, lay off like a lot of people that had been there for like 20 plus years. Now, you got to think about it. There's a lot of people that help you kind of grow the company. You know what I'm saying? And these are the people that's making the most bread. So like when you got to squeeze, you know what I'm saying, from a profit standpoint, like, you know, you got to cut overhead.
They're going to say, like, budget cuts.
You got to do budget cuts, severance packages, and all that kind of stuff. So when that happened, like I said, they didn't mess with me. You know what I'm saying? They didn't lay me off or nothing like that. Like, but I knew people in the organization that was in other places that did get laid off or did have to take severance package or did retire. You know what I'm saying? So, that it put it on my mind, and I'll never forget. Like I was living in Selma, Alabama at the time, and like this was when like the food truck race was like big on TV. So this is like 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Literally 10 years ago. I've been doing this for 10 years, so it's probably longer than that. Probably like 12 years ago. And I'm like, man, like they traveling, but they on the truck and they traveling from this city to this city or whatever. But I'm like, man, that's something I could do that. You hear me? Like I could do that. And I knew absolutely nothing about cooking. I knew absolutely nothing about food trucks. I knew absolutely nothing about nothing like dealing in the food industry, but working at FritoLay. And like the only cooking that I did used to be breakfast food, eggs. You know what I'm saying? I used to make like a fire egg sandwich, But anyway, but I used to watch my grandmother, watch my aunties. You know what I'm saying? Watch my my mama, my grandpa, like grandpa, all of them. You know what I'm saying? In the kitchen, always cooking and stuff like that. So like, you pick up on stuff and you don't really know that you picking up on it. So kind of learned a lot of stuff there. But then a lot of stuff like that I'm doing now, like, it's been me like a lot of trial and error. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of mistakes that's been made. And like, shoot, I'm human. Like, so I still make mistakes. I'm still growing. I'm still evolving. Like, I'm still learning. And that's just all I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to maximize and be the best man that I can be the best person that I can be. But when FritoLay did that, going back to the question, like that forced me to like just take that jump on the food truck. And like I remember, like I said, I used to pull up at Eiffel and pull up at the different clubs, 7140. Pulled up at Space so many times. Pulled up at Metro so many times. Matter of fact, that was the first year when I started in 2013. I was outside of Metro. It's storming. It's packed. It's doing Essence Fest, and I'm out there. This when I was doing hot sausage sandwiches, I was doing shrimp po' boys, I was doing wings, I was doing tacos, I was doing all kind of stuff. But people was just coming to the truck and I'm like making it. And I got my little brother on it. Like I got my little brother on the truck. So like if you go to my original Instagram, Weedat WEDATFOODTRUCK without the underscore. Like when you go to my original page, like you'll be able to see like pictures of like me and my brother that day on the truck. Like that day, like that was the first day like I was out on the truck. And my little brother, man, my heart and soul, man, Lorenz, shout out to my little brother. He got his own security company, you know what I'm saying, Panda. Shout out my other little brother. He got his own podcast, Nola Bros. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all rock with that. That's on YouTube, on Instagram. Y'all rock with that. But I had my little brother Lorenz on the truck with me, and I just never forget, like, we was out to, like, we started at, like, 6 that evening, getting everything ready, and was out to, like, 4 in the morning. Like, this, like I said, doing Essence Fest weekend, and I knew absolutely nothing I was doing. I knew nothing. I just knew I'd have the right prices. You know what I'm saying? I knew my prices had to match up. It had to be a certain price, and then it's like, you know, I just need to make sure that the quality of the food is good. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't put together no business plan or none of that. Like, I didn't do any of that. Like,
went out there and did it.
I just went out there and did it. I just took a leap of faith. So, but I remember that next morning, like, we got in there at 4, 5 o'clock, walked in my grandpa's house. Because I, you know, in the second one, I had moved in with him because I had just kind of got to New Orleans from being in Alabama 10 years. So I wound up getting a transfer with FritoLay to come down to New Orleans. So, but I knew I was going to do this food truck. So it's like, I still got, you know, FritoLay, but I'm still doing my food truck on the weekends. So like, fast forward, like, it got to the point where I was working Frito like Monday through Friday, and then I was working my food truck at nighttime Thursday through Sunday. So I was just working nonstop every day of the week. But it got to a point where people was like, yo, man, where you gonna be at for lunchtime? Like, this when I was on Tulane. Well, this is before I got on Tulane. Like, where you gonna be at for lunchtime? I was like, what you mean? It's like, man, tomorrow Monday or, you know, Tuesday, like, I want to come pull up on the truck. Like, I want to get some more food. You pulled up on me a few times not on the motorcycle, on the bicycle. I still remember that picture. You pulled up on me when I did that Essence.
Me, Larry, Keenan, all that.
Yeah, shout out to my brother Keenan Lewis. Shout out to my brother Larry Monroe. Shout out to my brother Sid. Like, Sid just got married. Congratulations to my dog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, like, dudes was like, yeah, I'm gonna come pull up on you on Tuesday or Wednesday or Monday. Where you gonna be at? So I'm like starting to think, like, man, I gotta get on this truck. Like, I gotta, cause on the weekends it's good, but it's like, you know, I gotta have the truck out cause people want it. And it got to the point where I wound up meeting a young lady by the name of Stephanie Stout. You know what I'm saying? And she reached out to me through Instagram, was like, look, I like what you're doing. She from Mississippi. I like what you're doing. I want to get on the food truck. Like, you know, I want an opportunity with the food truck. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, say less. I say, because I'm trying to get the food truck on the streets anyways. So, boom, Steph wound up going on there. But I'm throughout work, like, I'm going to Restaurant Depot, getting the food, doing this, doing that, like, doing all of that. Like, while I'm still working at FritoLay, but we finally had the food truck out because I had somebody to actually be on the truck. But we started, like, doing, like, the same amount of business in one day that I was, you know, kind of making with, like, you know, 2 weeks working at, you know, at Frito. And it's like, I was like, man, I'm out. And it's like, I'll never forget that first day being, and we was at 3801 Tulane. And I was scared. I was so scared. But I was like, I can't fail. Like, I'm from New Orleans. Like, it ain't no plan B. Like, I gotta make this a success. And I remember that day, like, I remember saying my prayers, and I just remember, like, just advertising on the ground, and people start pulling up. They start pulling up. And, like, I used to, like, just customer service, and it's still a customer service. It's, like, go above and beyond for people. So, like, if it's 100 degrees outside, it's, like, it's 120 inside the truck. Cause now I got a fan in there, so like it suck all the air out, and I got the vent hood at the top and all of that. Like back then, when I was doing food trucks, nobody wanted the food trucks wasn't cool. Like nobody had food trucks in the city. That's another story, but you know, so it's like, you know, when I was doing it, it was first like, you know, the food truck that I remember is the Pie Man, and that was just a dude like that had like a truck, not a actual food truck, but like a Ram 1500, but he had like coolers on it, so he used to deliver or whatever. So shout out to the Pie Man. I remember that because I used to valet park for Oracle Valet, and I remember being they had the contract right there by LSU, like by the Benson Towers, like where the clinic used to be at. I'm not sure if the clinic used to be there, but we used to valet, you know, for the elderly and people going in there, like, or whatever the case may be. But I used to see a Pie Man pulling up downtown. So I'm like, you know, I'm just outside looking at him, I'm like, man, what's this dude getting out of this food? So I said all of that to say, like, you know, like, I seen that. That's why I said every part of life, you know, it always kind of comes together. So I seen that. So shout out to the pie man. You know what I'm saying? I never met him. I ate his food before, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I didn't really have no conversation with him. It was just like, well, I mean, I did meet him, I guess you could say, because I bought food from him. But it's just, you know, like, whatever his name is, you know, shout out to him, because he was one, he was one of the original GOATs that really did it. So it's just when I did the food truck, like I said, it wasn't no food trucks in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? It was, people really wasn't doing it like that. Now my boy Jason, he had Frenchie's food trucks. They served like grilled cheese. I'm not sure if my dog's still doing it. And then Erica from Diva Dog, I know she was doing her truck too. You know what I'm saying? But it was like a real slim few. You know what I'm saying? But like, especially like black food trucks, like it really wasn't like a lot of us like doing it at all. Zero. And I mean, you could probably say that across the country, like that it wasn't happening. Nobody wasn't doing it. You know what I'm saying?
You was one of the first people I saw had it, and it was around the time that movie, I Think Like a Man came out, and your boy opened a food truck over there.
My boy with the green eyes,
Michael Eli.
Yeah. I was watching Barbershop the other day. Yeah. I'm like, this dude a GOAT, dog. But it's like, even like when you start mentioning people like that, like some of the people that I've gotten a chance to network with and like cook for and different things like that, like it's like I said, man, you know, he one person away. Now I never got a chance to cook for brother, but you know what I'm saying, like I have been able to cook for some very high profile people, you know what I'm saying, in the world that's doing amazing things and being able to develop some real strong relationships with these people. So, you know, like I said, you know, that was great because again, like I said, like when he did the movie, like that just brought a lot of more attention to what it was I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you see that and it's like, oh, okay, all right, cool. Like, let me see how they doing this on the movie, whatever the case may be, even though they giving you a glimpse of it. But like his story was kind of like mine itself. You know, I didn't come from a restaurant background. You know, this was just something that like, and I ain't seen Think Like a Man in a long time. But I came from, I didn't work in restaurants and then quit my job. Like, what's your boy name? They had another food truck movie that came out. What it was, I think
it was a show with like The Shy with Jason.
So I know Jason. Shout out to my brother Jason. I
know that farther down the line though.
No, but this was like an actual movie. One of the funny dude, like he came up with like a movie and he was a chef and then he got his own food truck, and then they started on the beach, and like his son or whatever. And like,
you talking about?
I forgot what the name is, man. But you know, like I said, just like different movies like that, like you know, it's like you see what they doing or whatever the case may be, and it just brings more attention to the culture and the food truck culture as a whole, and that's what it did.
So speaking on the food truck, you know, everyone think it's it was just glammed and gold and peaches and cream. So tell them all like the hardships you had to deal with the food truck.
Yo, bro, like being on that food truck, man, me and my director of operations, Mr. Ken, shout out to Mr. Ken if y'all going to Weeders, man. My director of operations, Mr. Ken, man, he just really I just got a lot of love and respect for him, man. But me and him yesterday, trying to get the food truck right for an event that we got, that we have tomorrow with Tillery. Shout out to the Green Wave, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the players, you know what I'm saying? Congratulations on the Cotton Bowl championship. That's amazing. Them boys being Weedats all the time, them young men being Weedats all the time. So shout out to y'all, man. Y'all doing that. That was just amazing to see, like, you know what I'm saying? Just proud of y'all boys, man. But just yesterday, we had to switch out I don't even want to go into that. We had to just do some things, some changes that was made that I respect as a businessman. This was what the code is. This is what has to be done. This is what we're going to do. So I'm not even going to touch on that. But I will touch on like the truck when I first started. First of all, me not knowing anything about it. Second of all, me making countless mistakes on it. Third of all, the truck engine head gasket going out, blowing on me. Clutch going out, going out on me. Flat tires, happening all the time on the truck. Electrical fires that I had inside the truck. Being at food truck events, whereas in it's me and 4 other trucks, and those 4 other trucks got hundreds of people there. And we that same guy, they don't have nobody there. 1 and 2 people there. So like that food truck, this business keeps me very, very humble. And I'd rather stay humble than to be humbled. You know what I'm saying? So like it's been so many, like that's why I said when I first started, like, you know, you could consider, you know, we're firefighters. Shout out to the firefighters. But, you know, I consider myself a firefighter. I always say that any entrepreneur, and I was thinking about this the other day, like even whether you're an entrepreneur or not, if you in any kind of leadership position, you know, anywhere, you have to put out fires on a daily basis. That's what you're getting paid for. That's how you trying to make your living. So I put out fires all day long. So like when you asked me earlier, what's a typical day? It depends. It can go smooth or it can be just a lot at one time, but it's still stuff that has to get done. That's why it's so important for you to have the right people around you. But man, even when I bought the food truck, like I didn't even know how to drive. I didn't even know how to drive a clutch. The only thing that I knew and understood, but you know, but it's like, a quick story. I purchased the food truck. My boy Andre Lewis, who I mentioned earlier with VPG, Andre drove up with me to Birmingham. No, we went to Athens, Alabama, which is maybe 30 or 40 minutes outside of Huntsville or Birmingham. I can't remember. I got to look on the map. But he drove up with me in the car. And then one of us was going to drive the truck back. Well, he wound up, it was initially on me to drive, but I didn't know the truck that I was buying had a clutch. And I didn't know how to drive a clutch at the time. So it was like, thank God he knew how to drive a clutch, because the truck would have still been sitting there till this day. I'm going to tell you how the Lord worked. So he wound up driving. And again, like I said, I didn't do no research. I didn't have no business plan. I didn't do any of this. When I wanted it, I just said I'm going to do it. And we driving back to New Orleans. And I'm all excited, posting on Facebook. This is before Instagram. I'm posting on Facebook. I got my truck. I'm all excited, you know. And all of a sudden, like, we get 93 miles outside of New Orleans. I'll never forget this. So that sign that said 93 miles, right then and there, like, that is a landmark. Because that's exactly where I was forced to learn how to drive a food truck, drive that food truck. I see my partner swerving. And that boy swerved, and then he swerved and went to the on the side of the interstate. And that boy got out the truck. I'm like, yo, man, what's wrong? Because I'm following him in the car. Because I like I said, I didn't know how to drive the truck because it was a clutch, so he drove it for me. My partner Dre like, man, you got me in this truck. You ain't do no research. You ain't read no book. You ain't do this. You ain't do that. You know what I'm saying? Da-da-da-da-da. Like, he was mad at me because, I mean, obviously, like, you know what I mean? You know, the tires was bald on it. You know what I'm saying? The truck just wasn't in good condition. So I just remember calling my mom. And I'm like, Ma, I don't know what I'm doing. She like, what happened? I was like, man, this truck. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I think I made a mistake. She was like, man, she said a prayer over me. She prayed for me. She said, calm down. She said, everything gonna be okay. Cause like, literally, like, we right here after he let me know how he feel, and I can't say nothing to him because he driving the truck and he right. And so he go that way down the interstate to, you know, clear his head, and I go. And my dog Dre always been like real level-headed, like real cool, calm, and collected. You know what I'm saying? My boy Dre, that's my brother for life, man. And as my mom was saying a prayer for me and over me, like, I see him coming back, and he was like, look. So because like what I didn't say, it was a double axle. So he was swerving because he caught a flat tire. So that's how we ended up on the side of the road. So as we waiting on a tow truck company to come to change the tire out, which cost me like $400-$500. Like it was ridiculous. And I'm like, yo, I just spent this money, everything I saved up and worked at FritoLay for on this truck that down the line I didn't know I had to do way more work to. It's exhausting even thinking about it. But anyway, so fast forward, like he wound up saying, man, look, I'm gonna teach you how to do this. Now thank God that, you know, I had a motorcycle, I had a Kiyosaki. So so I understood. People don't know that side. So I used to drive, motorcycles, but and just on some crazy, like, first of all, I taught myself how to drive a motorcycle. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost. But if you ask anybody from Tuskegee, you ask anybody, like, I pulled up to homecoming on a motorcycle. I got the pictures on Facebook, like it's not a game. And I remember driving from Birmingham to Atlanta, because for homecoming, we have annual party in Atlanta. Then everybody drive down to Tuskegee. Back to Tuskegee from Birmingham, Atlanta, Tuskegee, then back to Birmingham. Crazy. Like, and I taught myself within a month, like a month or two of like how to drive in it. Which is just crazy, just how crazy and just like how crazy I was back in the day. And I just remember, like I said, just understanding the clutch functionality. So like, you know, with my foot and the pedal and the, you know, the hands and stuff like that. So anyway, so I wound up going up and down on the side of the interstate. And that's how I learned how to drive a food truck. And the way the Lord works is that my boy Dre wasn't going to be able to move my truck for me when I needed to be moved. So I had to learn anyway. So it was just the Lord forcing me to learn. So once the tire was put back on, and he was like, man, I got it from here. I was like, nah, I got it. And I drove the truck 93 miles to New Orleans and drove it everywhere else. And the rest is history.
So, you know, it was like 93 miles to New Orleans, actually created on like We That Food Truck.
Straight up, because that's how I learned how to, because I mean, you got to know the functionality of the business, whatever your business is.
You gotta learn it. You gotta
the
learn
ins and outs, correct.
And marketing, everything.
Correct.
How to work the register. People don't just get that. People jump into businesses so often and like be clueless and just actually be dependent on others, and like it always end up going wrong.
And you know what's so funny, bro? Like the funny thing is that it's so much stuff that I've learned over time, like just about the business. And like I said from the beginning of the interview, still learning, still perfecting, you know, still, you know, trying to make sure that the profit margin is where it needs to be at. You know what I'm saying? Making sure my food cost is where it needs to be at, making sure my labor is where it's supposed to be at, making sure that I'm saving money the best, however I can, wherever I can, because, you know, like, it's a lot of, like, people see, like, a lot of stuff coming in, but they don't really understand a lot of what goes out. And I could just tell you, like, just off of the energy bill alone, like, you know what I'm saying, that's $3,000-$4,000 a month. So it's like
each for all the energy bills.
No, that's Canal Street.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, you know, at the end of the day, it's a lot of stuff you gotta do. It's a lot of like overhead that comes with that. Like even with the people that, you know, we have that are team members that work with us. Like, you know, like you gotta make sure people got their hours. You gotta make sure you paying people, you know, what you need to pay them. You know, you gotta, you know, provide, and that's what I'm doing. Like I'm trying to provide a different culture, you know, for We Dads. You know, I made some serious changes, even from a personnel standpoint to, like I said, just the different items that I carry. Like I've kind of like went more of like a less is more kind of approach. So a lot of stuff that I used to sell on my menu, like I kind of stopped that because like I want people to be in and out, and I want you to get your food in a certain amount of time. So it's like some stuff like we'll have like a line of people, and then we wings and fries, shrimp and fries, and then somebody hit us with like, let's do me a shrimp wrap, which I loved them. That was my favorite thing, the shrimp wrap. I created that on the food truck. And but it's like it slows down the productivity because it's so many. I just said that to say, man, like I'm constantly evolving, like I said earlier, constantly learning, like constantly just trying to be the very best that I can be. And like even like, you know, from the changes, like I said, with the personnel and the culture, people walk in, you greet people, like customer service, you go above and beyond, making sure that the lobby is always clean, making sure that you greet everybody, making sure that, you know, you walking around the store, like talking to people, like making sure that the product presentation is exactly the way that it's being promoted, no matter what platform it is. Like just providing that level of customer service. Because what I was saying on the food truck is when I give everybody in my truck, like one of the things I used to do when people, it was 90 degrees outside, 120 inside, I used to bring people their foods, let them sit in their car. Or when it's raining like a day like today, I used to, you know, just had an umbrella and then bring the food to the car. But it's like always going above and beyond with people in customer service. So, yeah, man, I know, you know, like I said, like, oh, this year, you know, will be 10 years. So it's like I got so much here that we don't even really got enough time to really just tell all the trials and tribulations. Yeah,
right.
But,
well,
you
I'm
know.
gonna ask you this then. Like, when you opened like the first restaurant on like Canal Street, did you ever think about franchising then?
You know, so funny, bro. Like I envisioned being in Walmart. I envisioned. So first of all, we on Baron Street right now, right?
Yes.
If you go down that cell phone shop, that's a whole nother story. That cell phone shop right down the street on Baron Street was supposed to be my original store. When I was leaving from the food truck and I knew I had to get a space, I first went to that location. And it was a dude that, oh man, you can sublease this and you can do this and do this. And you can't sublease something that you got a contract on. Like you in a contract with a landlord. Like you can't sublease it to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't do that. Like,
a lot of people don't really understand that.
No. So, you know.
If people get jacked every day like that.
And I was one of the people. And dude like beat me out of money. But come to find out, dude beat a lot of people in this city about you know, out of money. But it was when I was still on the food truck. So it was like, that's why I said, man, like, but anyway, so I got a phone call from the landlord. He was like, look, I don't know who you are. And I went in that mug and did all kinds of, like, I was started making renovations and giving him deposits and all of this kind of stuff. But I'm constantly calling dude like, yo, like, what's going on? What's up with the sign and the permits? This before I knew anything about City Hall. I ain't know nothing about none of that. I didn't know nothing about
and
any of that.
And like damn near everything from the beginning.
Head first. And I just remember that I put all of this work into whatever the case may be. I'm in that mug celebrating with my boy Jeremy Hill. Shout out to my brother Jeremy Hill. A lot of people know my partner Flea. That's one of my closest partners. Really, that's the reason how I ended up at Tuskegee, because he went there the year before me. You know, that way he's like, man, G, you gotta come out here, man. Tuskegee different. And that's a whole nother story. But I remember him coming in there and we got a bottle of Hennessy, I think, just to celebrate. And I remember the lady outside, because it was right next to a bar. I think it's like Mike's bar or whatever the case may be. And the lady was like, look, I don't really know you, but you seem like a nice person. But I don't think that guy has the authority to allow you to put your restaurant there. And I was like, huh? She was like, yeah, you probably want to talk. And he was like, stop. So I was like, okay. So I called him. We talking on the phone 2-3 hours. And this was, and I could just feel when he I know I could feel in my heart like he done got over on me. And I got a call. I wound up talking to the landlord. And I was like, he was like, I remember that boy telling me, like, I don't know who you are. And I don't care. But whatever it is that you're doing, you're not doing it in that building. Now, when he told me that, it was like popping an air balloon. Or popping a balloon. Like, I was deflated. Like, I was low. You know what I'm saying? Because I invested in this money in this property, and then this man got over on me. So I never forget, like, that's how I remember being in church, and I remember, like, like literally like just in tears. Like I'm like, Lord, what I'm gonna do? I went to Facebook with it, advertising about it at his restaurant and stuff, and do them. So now I'm back at square one, and I remember being in church, and I just remember just God just like, man, just when you get to the point where it's like a situation where you just like middle finger to that situation, and it's like it is what it is. That's how it was. Like it was like that's dead.
It was very overwhelming, and it also make you question a lot. Like sometimes, I tell people they had that question with God.
Right.
Like, why me?
Right. Why? But it's why not you?
Right.
It's because I'm preparing you for something else. You know what I'm saying? So, me being me, I was always like not trying to put my eggs in one basket, but still like always trying to just make sure that I'm straight in other aspects. So like once like stuff started getting iffy with him, I immediately started looking at other locations, and that's when like Canal Street was that mug was abandoned. Like it really hadn't been touched since like Katrina. Like it was a mess inside of there. It was a mess. Like what you see about with Canal Street, like from the drop down ceilings to the tile on the floor, like that was like by the grace of God, like that was like from the ground up, and it was everything that I literally made off of the food truck and saved up, like I put into that location. And it's been like that with all the locations, to be honest with you. Like people don't know that. And that's why I was like going at
so like, basically everything you make, if you put it back in.
I was investing back in. I'm still doing that, even with my products. Like I make it from a retail standpoint, then I'm investing into another product. Then I'm investing into another product. And I'm investing into another product. And it's like I was doing so much that it's like a lot of times certain things don't get the attention that it needs. But it's like now, like I'm locked in on the products. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like I said, now things are changing around. Like I done been through so many trials and tribulations with them stores, man. Like it's ridiculous. Like I'm telling you, from people like stealing from me to like dudes, like a lot of people don't even know this. I ain't even go to the public with this. Like a lot of people ask me about Gentili, like, and this I'll talk to you and I'll say this, you know what I'm saying? Like what happened with Gentili? It's like, cause shout out to Pee Wee. Pee Wee is there now, but it was like, what happened to Gentili? And it was like, it wasn't because the business wasn't there, because that was a primetime location. It was a situation where respect wasn't given between me and the landlord. And that's why I left Gentili. That's why the lease wasn't renewed. Because, and I never spoke on this, like I never spoke on it, but that's the reason why. Like, but people, everything happened the way it's supposed to happen. So now my dog Pee Wee, who was in the restaurant, he came in there last Friday, I think. Got him some wings or whatever. I was in there. I was in the kitchen. I seen him coming in. So it was good, but that was for him. Like that's a blessing for him. You know what I'm saying? So
speaking of, I was saying about speaking on landlords and everything like that. Like, did you have to deal with any like racism trying to be one, young black entrepreneur, opening up in like the heart of the city as well,
and like getting to like Canal Street, like. Me leaving church, I remember like getting a phone call like that Monday. So church is on Sunday that Monday from Mr. Chen, who is my landlord now. And he gave me an opportunity. Like bottom line, like he gave me an opportunity. And then but like when I went to that Gentili location, like I could tell that it was a disconnect there. And like I'm big on respect because I show so much love, and it's like, if I feel, but and then again, like I said, that's from New Orleans. Like New Orleans, that type of city. You know what I'm saying? I tell people you got to earn people respect every single day, and that's what I'm doing inside the restaurants. But I mean, yeah, I experienced a lot. I experienced a lot from a lot of people. A lot of people put a lot of pressure on me, made it hard for me. That I just don't speak on. Like I get things that happen all day long, and I know it's maliciously done. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's, people just try to take advantage of you, but I say it like this, man. you just keep on treating people right, doing right by people, and like that harvest is, you keep planting those seeds, and that harvest is gonna manifest, and those seeds are gonna harvest, and can't nobody stop that. Like no matter what they try to do, no matter who you think they to put in a position in or whatever you think, like that's why I say I'd rather stay humble than be humbled, because at the end of the day, I done been humbled so many times and so much that it's like I'm cool with just being in the middle. Like I'm cool with playing the background now. Like I'm cool with, you know what I'm saying, being in the cut. Like I mean, I'm just cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I like to move in silence. I like to move like you know, I like to move like you know, like American Gangster. I'm trying to remember what Denzel character was.
Frank Lucas.
I like to move like Frank Lucas. You know what I'm saying? I like to be in the background. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be in the spotlight. A lot of stuff that I do, I don't need to let the world know that I'm doing it. Like a lot of stuff that I do in the community, I don't need to let the world know that I'm doing it, because I'm doing it because I genuinely care about my city. Like I got this right here, and I got it over my heart. Like I genuinely care about my city. I genuinely care about people. So it's like, for me, it's like you just keep on doing right by people. And again, like I said, the right opportunity will present itself, and can't nobody stop what God has for you. So I said all of that to say that, like, you know, I just keep on planting seeds. I'll, you know, just go out my way for people, try to treat people right, try to do right by people, and you know what I'm saying? And I just sit back and, you know, just, I don't know, like the opportunity, like especially this year, like, and I know you want to talk about different ventures or whatever the case may be that we got going on, but like the stuff that's, the calls that I'm getting and the opportunities that's presenting itself is like, it's mind blowing to me now. Like it's like literally like surreal. Like it's surreal. You know what you know where we was at last night. You know who we was kicking it with. You know what I'm saying. You know. But it's like stuff like that is like it's happening all the time. Like you being in positions. You know, God puts you in positions with people to help. You know, do whatever to get you to the next level or to make an introduction or whatever the case may be, man. So, you know, stuff is that's happening, bro, is surreal to me now, man. But to be honest with you, like, I'm having a great time. Like, I'm having fun. And it's like, it ain't always been fun because it's been so many trials and tribulations. So it's like, but now it's like I'm, you know, because I'm getting my business in order, like how they say, you know, getting your house in order, like I'm getting my house in order, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting myself in order, you know what I'm saying? Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you know what I'm saying? Physically, and then hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Financially, like the abundance is going to come. And when it comes, like I said, it's going to be, you know, overflow, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just, I tell people all the time, like, this the year. Like, you know, like I said, it's been 10 years since I've been doing this. And, you know, like, this year is 23. Michael Jordan, you know, my favorite NBA player. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to LeBron. Again, shout out to my brother AD. Shout out to the Pell. Shout out to all them people, all the, you know, my partners that's, you know, athletes and all of that. But, you know, who I grew up watching was MJ. You know what I'm saying? And this the Jordan year. Like, this the 23. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to win championships, and I ain't just talking about on the courts, which I hope the Pels go far this year. I hope the Pelicans go far this year, man. Like, cause we got so much talent, man, and we got just some great young men on that team, man. They just some real solid dudes, man. So I hope we go far. You know what I'm saying, and get us a championship. You know, I'm the same way with the Saints. Like, I'm just diehard, man. Like, no matter what everybody else think, this is how I feel, cause I'm deeply rooted to my city. You know what I'm saying? And anything about seeing my city win and shine, that's all I'm about. So, but I'm talking about winning championships off the court. I'm talking about, like, entrepreneurs, like, having successful businesses, people taking leaps of faith and, you know, starting businesses, people doing what their passion is, you know, people getting married, or people, like, having babies and stuff like that. Like, you know, this world has been through so much heartache, like, pain, like, especially with this pandemic. Like, people went through some hard times. And it's just like, I just love to see people win. Like, that's just me. I just love to see people win. I love to see people smile. And, like, in that process, a lot of, like, in these past few years, like, I lost my smile because I've been through so much. But it's like, now I'm getting my smile back. And it's like I said, man, like I'm feeling good and I'm like laser focused and I'm locked in. And it's like I'm trying to shoot from half court like my dog Steph Curry. Like I'm trying to shoot from half court, man. So, you know, and hit nothing but buckets. So, you know, I'm just, like I said, all around trying to maximize and be the best me that I possibly can.
Gotcha. We changed. Okay. So tell the world actually, where you from?
I'm from out of 7 Ward, 2636 O'Reilly Street off St. Bernard and Broad.
Okay. So for yourself growing up, who influenced you to, you know, actually become an entrepreneur?
So I think that like I think that if you from New Orleans, everybody was influenced by a lot of the same people, and you start talking about people like, you know what I'm saying, Birdman, people like Master P, you know what I'm saying, the Hot Boys, you know what I'm saying, being in New Orleans, you know, you directly identify with people like that. So them was like the first real entrepreneurs, like back in the day. Like we always knew their story, like, you know what I'm saying, how they got it out the mud from, you know, the distribution standpoint, you know what I'm saying, selling CDs out the trunk. So I think that like on that side of it, like, you know what I'm saying, like from an entrepreneur standpoint, like I think that it's always kind of been in our face, especially being from New Orleans. But I think that like those were like some real big people that influenced, I think, the culture as a whole, you know what I'm saying, in the city. But I think that as far as like a direct influence, like me growing up, like in the 7 Ward, like I ain't really have like no role models, like, you know what I'm saying, like the people that I saw like in the Cutlasses and the old school Monte Carlos, you know what I'm saying, back in the Gap, you know, was, you know, people that wasn't doing right, you know what I'm saying, and I ain't really gotta go into that negative aspect of it, but they just, you know, they was, you know, living that life. So like that's what I saw growing up. So I just knew that that's not what I wanted to do, or like I like being in the neighborhood and the environment that I was living in, especially in the 7 Ward, especially, you know, coming up in the 90s, like, you know what I'm saying, that's when all of the wards was back and forth with each other, downtown versus uptown. Like, it was just a whole bunch of stuff going on. This high school beefing with this high. It was just a lot going on. So it was just like, for me, it was like, man, I just don't want to have my kids live in this environment. You know what I'm saying? Or grow up the way that I grew up. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like growing up, it was just a lot of stuff that I just witnessed and it was exposed to that I just feel like, you know, it just, any kid, you know, they shouldn't be exposed to that kind of stuff. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you from New Orleans, especially coming up around that time, like, I mean, it is what it is. It was what it was. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that was the best thing that could have happened to me because, you know, I mean, I developed some strong relationships. Of course, I was the lightest one. Me and my brother and my family was the lightest ones in the 7 Ward. You know what I'm saying? Contrary to what people may think, is a lot of light-skinned people in the 7 Ward, but, you know, a lot of my partners, you know what I'm saying?
Everyone was light-skinned.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Every time I met people like from the project, I thought everyone was light-skinned.
Yeah, no, but it's not. But that's not the case, though.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
You're,
that's
okay. That's okay. I said it on camera, bro. You're a good dude.
Thank you, man.
You're an underdog. You're always showing love to people. You showed love to me back in the day when you had 3 and 4 Instagram pages. I'll never forget that, bro. You posted my food on there, like, bro, like, that's why I told you, like, you my brother. So it's like, yeah, so I'm proud of everything that you're doing, dog, because, like, you know what? This is you, 100%. Like, you, like, are connected with the culture. Like, you, like I said, you got relationships with a lot of different people. We got the same relationships, but it's like, you show love, man. You funny as hell. You know what I'm saying? But you a good, solid dude. Like, you my dog. And I love that. Like, just keep on hustling, keep on grinding. And, like, Nolazine, like, you know what I'm saying? That's going to go far, bro. Because you go as far as you take it. And everybody don't have that drive and that hustle. You know what I'm saying? And you got that. You know what I'm saying? And you've been doing this for a while, bro. And it just, like I said, sometimes it takes 10 years to get that 1 year that's going to change your life. Right. So I just want to tell you that, bro. Give you your flowers, bro.
So, like, what's your advice to someone watching this interview right now who's thinking about following or making your footsteps?
I just tell them, if you watching it, I tell them, make sure whatever it is that you're doing, just make sure that's what you really want to do. First of all, don't just be doing it because everybody else is doing it. Do it because you genuinely love doing it. And you'll, like I said, if you love what you do, you'll do it for free. 2, we live in a world where people want it now. I didn't live in that world back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took a lot of heartache and a lot of pain, a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of tuition that I had to learn, that I had to pay, you know what I'm saying, for the knowledge that I learned. But I'll just tell them, and I'll tell you, you know what I'm saying, to just stay prayed up, because that's what really, like, keeps me grounded. Like, it's, you know, this is like, you know, you see faith right there. Like, that's, you know, just what I just live by, bro. Like, you know, my faith is everything. Because to be honest with you, without my faith, bro, I would have been out of here a long time ago. You know, it's situations that happen to me. I'm not even supposed to be here. You know, like, you know, life, you know, changing situations, like life happening. You know what I'm saying? And, but like I keep saying throughout the interview, everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to happen. So I would just tell you, just keep the faith, just keep on going, like stay prayed up, and just keep on doing right by people. And it's sometimes that's hard, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, just treat people the way you want to be treated. And like I said, man, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, and I'm not where I want to be at. But every day I'm trying to get better and be a better man than I am. And that's something that I can honestly say that, like I say, I'm trying to maximize and be the very best that I can possibly be. So I would just say that, and then just keep going, man. Just keep going. Keep going.
Gotcha. So fast forward, 2023, you know, we're going to bring it back still, but, like, you know, having weed at, like, tell the world, actually, what's one average day like for you?
Man, it just depends on the day. Like, it can start early in the morning, you know what I'm saying, like with just fires that you got to put out, but, you know, dealing with vendors, food vendors, dealing with, you know, business partners that I may have, like with other projects that I have going on, getting updates from my team, you know, having conversations with Uber Eats, DoorDash, you know, US Foods, different people like that, like, you know, posting on social media, trying to, you know, advertise throughout the day, responding to emails, talking to this one, talking to that one, pulling up on my dog to do an interview, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's just, this is, you know, what I prayed for. So it's like, you know, like my day can be smooth, you know what I'm saying? Or it can just be like, you know, like total chaos. We have somebody call in and here it is, I'm in the trap, I'm in the restaurant, you know what I'm saying? Just banging it out, pushing plates out, you know, in the stores, making sure the stores are straight, making sure the guests are straight. So, you know, a typical day for me, it varies, you know what I'm saying? But I'll be honest with you, like, I'll be looking up sometimes and I don't even know what day it is, because it's like when you do what you love, like a lot of times you'll do it for free, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, it's like, I ain't really trying to, I ain't doing, I mean, I do a lot. I mean, I don't talk about what I do, but it's like, you know, I mean, I love what I do. As you can see, it's, you know, it's all on me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just, you know, a typical day for me, it just varies, bro. But, you know, I'm typically just trying to make sure that we doing what we got to do to make sure that the service is right, making sure that, you know, we taking care of the customers, and just making sure that, you know, the business is in line, whether that be paying taxes or, you know, making sure that we straight, and, you know, trying to grow the e-commerce account, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to push the retail side of the products, you know what I mean? It just varies, bro. Like every day is something new, which, you know, I love, man. But like I said, you know, it's been some good days and there's been some really, really bad days, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's just the way it has to be. That's the way it's been, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, God is good, bro, and I just embrace the process, you know what I'm saying? And just keep on putting one foot in front of each other every day. That's it, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. So let's bring it back, you know. Getting out of high school.
Bring it back to the bottom.
Yeah. Getting out of high school, going to college.
Tuskegee.
And graduating from there and going into corporate world. Like I want you to actually start from corporate world all the way until opening up at your first food truck.
Gotcha. So First of all, we'll rewind it a little bit more. Got to shout out at Nicole.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So from Carl, shout out to them Cougars. So from Carl, I went to Tuskegee. Tuskegee was one of the best things that I could have did because a lot of my partners went to Southern, a lot of my partners went to Graham. And there's nothing against, like, I mean, I'm HBCU to the T, you know what I'm saying? But moms was just like, nah, you not staying in Louisiana, like, you gotta go. So I'm like, man, Tuskegee, a long way away, you know what I'm saying? I don't know nobody out there, like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's a real, like, rural, like, country, you know, vibe or whatever, but it was just great for me because I met some and have developed some very, like, long-lasting, like, relationships and, like, you know, just met some just great people from all over the world. And, you know, Tuskegee, you know, really helped, like, install in me, like, a lot of, like, just, I'll say, like, pride. And especially in my culture. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, because I always say, like, you know, Tuskegee really don't get, like, the credit that's due. And it's just so many great things that have, and so many great people that have came out of Tuskegee. You know, you talk about George Washington Carver, you talk about Booker T. Washington, man, you talk about people like Lionel Richie, you talk about Tom Joyner. I mean, the list go on and on. Like, that's just a few people. And then I can just talk about, like, a lot of the people that graduated with me, all of the amazing things that they doing. You know what I'm saying? Which I will. I highlight some of my partners. They got VPG, Versus Property Group, and engineer majors. Started out working at Chevron, quit Chevron to do real estate development. They invested in a fourplex. From a fourplex, they flipped that to another fourplex, to now they got apartment complexes and doing. They did work at the Four Seasons, but, you know, it's just like, them my partners, like, them real success stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, them people that I, you know, seen, like, grow and develop. And, you know, I was one of their first investors, you know what I'm saying? You know, and this is back when I just had the money that I was working at FritoLay with. You know what I'm saying? And I just, you know, they was like, you know, you put this amount down and this can be a return on investment. But what they was doing was they was gathering investors to raise the capital to fund their projects. And now those projects have paid off, and now, you know, they got, like I said, one of the biggest black-owned, you know, real estate development companies, you know, in New Orleans that I know of. You know, and that's my boy Michael Meredith, my boy Andre Lewis, my boy Vince Weaver. We all Tuskegee grads, and we all members of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So, you know, but, you know, just starting with, you know, Tuskegee, and then Tuskegee, I went to the Thurgood Marshall Leadership Conference. I got a chance to represent the school going to this conference in New York. And it was basically HBCU students from all over the United States, from black colleges. And I said HBCU students, but we got exposed to, like, companies like Nike, and I think they had, like, Mercedes-Benz. Like, they had, like, big corporations that, like, wouldn't be at your typical career fair. And I remember being up there. First of all, that was the first time I was ever in New York. You know what I'm saying? But I just remember, like, that conference. And I remember talking to the people at Nike. I remember her name was Miss Joycelyn Seed, like, it was her name. And I was just real adamant about landing that internship. And, like, the whole conference, I, like, really bugged the hell out of this lady. Like, I, like, literally, like, was just, how you doing? You know, like, just met her, gave her my resume, then, like, just continue to, like, throughout the different days, like, each day, like, just building conversation with him, stopping by, talking to him, doing this, you know what I'm saying? And I was able to land that internship. In that internship, it's some great people like that. It's like huge right now, and I on my cell phone, my boy, but like people like Rosalind Gold, like who's she's like a sideline reporter for that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to remember his name, Chad Easterlin. But Rosalind is a sideline reporter she was for Golden State, but now you see on ESPN or whatever the case may be, like, that's my dog. We interned together. Chad Easterlin, who is like work with, I think, like Michael B. Jordan, and right now he with Dwayne Wade. Like, me and him interned together. Like, one of my mentors is Jason Maiden, like, who like was a shoe designer for Nike, like, for Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did a few shoes for Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the first time I met LeBron. That was the first time, and I got a classic picture that I remember that boy had it was a low top Dunks. It was like the Nikes, but that mug was like the Cleveland colors. And this one he was with Cleveland, and that mug had like the state of Ohio on it, and like really nobody had it. So I was sample size at Nike. So, sample size is basically all of the shoes that they make is, they make the prototype in that particular size, which is like a 9. And I was an 8.5, 9. Like, so like that internship, like I got nothing but shoes. Like they got closets and closets of like different departments that got just nothing but shoes. Man, that was Mr. Frank, man, one of my mentors on Melba's, the new Melba's right there on Tulane. So y'all go rock with him, man. He's solid. A lot of the branding on my cup, like the cups and the logo plates and the logo deli sheets and the bags with my brand on it, like Mr. Frank helped me out, like when he was, his family used to own F. Christiana Foods that was bought out by U.S. Foods, you know what I'm saying, on the West Bank. So when Mr. Frank called me, like that's a mentor of mine now, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta answer that. So my bad, but just back to
your story.
but that's how, like, that's a typical day. Like, it's just phone calls, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. But like I said, the internship, like that was the first time I met LeBron. The first time I met, Uncle Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy how life kind of just always, just every piece of the puzzle just always kind of comes together. Because it's like now, one of my partners, one of my close partners, I'd say one of my brothers, man, two of my brothers play for the Lakers, Malik Beasley and Anthony Davis. So like, I don't know, it's just like, man, just you one person away from just everything in life, and it's just like, it's just been a hell of a journey, you know what I'm saying? Like, so getting back to the story or whatever the case may be, so from Nike, wound up, I landed internship at Nike, cool, did that for the summer, but that made it real appealing to, like, when I did have, like, the career fair, when they did have the career fair at Tuskegee, it made it appealing to companies when they seen, oh, you interned at Nike? So, like, tell me about that. And it's like, well, let me tell you about it. Let me tell you how cool it is and how cool it was. So I wound up landing a job with FritoLay. Jennifer Wells, Kevin Yadaga interviewed me. I'll never forget that. They came to Tuskegee, they interviewed, and I was able to make it to the, the final round and be able to work at, land a job with FritoLay coming out of college as I graduated from Tuskegee. And then FritoLay was just great because FritoLay taught me management, how to deal with people, customer service, hard work. I can remember me and you being out.
Why are you working at FritoLay?
Well, I'm working at FritoLay, but I don't remember the night when Tiana Taylor was in town. This is a long time ago, huh?
At Harris?
I forgot. I think it was at Harris. I can't remember where it was. But I remember us being out, And then like me getting a phone call like from one of my sales reps that called in. So like if they call in, like I gotta go hop on the truck and run the route. So I'm going straight from having a good time to like straight to work. And it's like 2:00 in the morning, I'm going to hop on the FritoLay truck to, you know what I'm saying, go deliver to the stores. But, you know, that was the type of customer service, that was the type of like dedication that I have. Like whatever I do, whatever it is, like I'm going to give you 110%. Everything that I got. And a lot of times that's exhausting and I'm tired, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, when you love what you do it for free. And I used to love work. I love interning at Nike. I love working at FritoLay. Like I said, taught me the supply chain. The same stores that I was dealing with then with their products, now I'm dealing with them same stores with my products.
So it actually, I'm like, prepared you.
It did. It installed in me the motto of like how they do things and how they did things. So it's like now it's like I understand supply chain. I understand you know, like we used to call it at FritoLay popping and lacing. So like that's the merchandising. So like if you go in the store and that mug look like a picture because it's like, damn, this is beautiful. Like you might not look at the merchandising, but in some stores you go in and there's holes on the shelf, stuff is thrown on the shelf, but some stores you go in, it's like they take pride in it. So like everything is neat, everything is like
Ross's.
Right, like Ross's, and that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. That's what I was about to say, like Ross's.
I actually found you a thing like Ross's. I see, yeah.
So and shout out to
organized.
And look, and shout out to Ross's because Ross's took a chance on me when no other, you know, retail space would. You know, before I was doing anything online or anything, like Ross's gave me an opportunity. And like now we went from 2 products to like now we got 16 products in there. You know what I'm saying? So and it's like the relationship is constantly flourishing and growing. So like just like Ross's, like I said, so but FritoLay taught me that. But like the thing about it is that what people don't know is like you ask anybody from Carl, anybody that graduated from Carl, that between 2002 and 2005, they'll tell you like, man, what G-Till used to do, because that's what everybody used to call me. That's what they still call me, G-Till. But they're like, what G used to do back in school? I used to go to Sam's Club, get snacks, Capri Suns, Milky Ways, FritoLay products, literally like the chips, put them in my purple football bag, and I used to carry my bag around all day, and I used to sell snacks to the school. You know what I'm saying? So I always was a hustler. Always. But it's love and respect to everybody. Shout out to everybody that support We that's been supporting We from the food truck, whether you had the food or you told somebody about it. Thank you for your love and support. Man, shout out to my dog, Jermichael Green, my brother, Nick May. We about to open up a location. My boy Jason Boswell. We about to open up a location on the University of Tuscaloosa campus. University of Alabama campus. That's the big news that I'm gonna drop here first on Nolazine. We going on the University of Alabama's campus, which is an absolute blessing. But shout out to my brother J. Mike, who played for the Golden State Warriors. You know what I'm saying? That I'm doing it with. That, you know, like I say, man, sometimes it take 10 years to get that 1 year that'll change your life. So just shout out to him, bro. Like, I'm looking forward to it. Like, this UA, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm always die hard Louisiana, you know what I'm saying? LSU, Tulane, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Southern, Grambling, you know, La Tech. Shout out to everybody. But, you know, to get this opportunity is just huge. And I'm just very, very just thankful and humbled. So if you ever in Alabama, for whatever reason, man, make sure you pull up to T-Town, 1130 University Boulevard, Suite B. We already got the sign up. It's been working on it for like the last about 3 months now. I've been working on it, and it's gonna be absolutely amazing. So I'm even highlighting my brother Herb Jones, Kyra Lewis, who played for the Pels, who went to UA. Like, I'm putting them boys on, like, it's about to be dope as hell. But just salute to my brothers, you know what I'm saying, especially my brother J. Mike, man, who been supporting me way since he was with the Grizzlies, with Memphis, man, you know what I'm saying? But just going back to Alabama, like where I went to school at, where I started, you know, working at FritoLay at, like, you know, and to be back, man, you know, I'm excited about it. So that's big news. You know, the product line is growing. We got some other great things that we're working on. It's just a blessing, man. I'm just thankful. I'm humbled. And I give all glory to God, man. And I'm, thank you for everybody that support me, that continue to support me on a regular basis, man. I salute everybody.
Top of that, right? We done.
You already know. Yes, sir. You know that, bro.